Hey y'all, today we're going to be doing a video on Cameron's mini bike and my mini bike, but we're back here out in the barn and we're going to be throwing on some mods to Cameron's bike. So what are we going to be doing today to your bike?
So we're going to be doing a new carb, a new twist throttle, and a pipe.
And we're doing the twist throttle just because we broke the last one and kind of jerry-rigged that one up.
And also the cable is different for the new
so we
carburetor.
have to use a this is a slide carb, so yeah, he's gonna show off some parts. Got these on Amazon. These are pretty easy to find. There's a bunch of
in total ones. Everything ran me about $100. So
for these parts,
for all these parts, yeah. So right here we have the twist throttle.
Yep, and he already put everything together, by the way, like this.
Yeah, it's just a little easier that way. And then we have the slide carb. It's like kind of like a Mikuni 22.
It's supposed to be a VM22 is what it's called, but it's just a Chinese replica.
Yeah.
But these are pretty common.
Hot air filter, tiny little like
intake
billet style intake.
And that all comes with it. This is all.
This is all one unit, and then the cable and the twist throttle one unit.
And then the other thing we're gonna be doing, pull it out. And yeah, so this is pretty common 212 better mods. Most people would say this is probably like a stage 1 or maybe 1.5, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, usually stage 1 you keep the original carb, and then stage 2 you do like different internals and then a new carb.
So this is kind of in between.
So this is between. This is we'll call it stage 1.5.
Yeah.
So go ahead
and as far as like power gains we're looking for,
it'll probably be.
I'm guessing maybe 2 horsepower.
Yeah. So we'll go from like 6.5, and then you remove the governor, so you're probably going maybe 7.5. So we're gonna be going like
9.
8.5 to 9ish. This will basically try to match like a stock Tillotson 212.
Yeah, this is gonna
should be plenty.
Yeah.
So we have the pipe or the header.
So this is a black pipe, 2-piece with an actual muffler on it. So a lot of people just get pipe where it's just unmuffled, but Cameron doesn't want. Oh my! I was hyping. Holy! Oh lordy!
This is gonna go in like that. Hopefully it fits. We might have to clearance some stuff.
Yeah, we don't know how it's gonna fit on the frame. It might run into the fender, so we might have to mess with that rear fender. But yeah, so the goal is to basically, once we throw everything onto his bike, compare it to my bike, which has a completely stock 212 on it still.
Just governor bypass.
Yeah, so same setup as this one right now, but this one's gonna be upgraded.
Oh, and just right now, the two bikes by themselves as they are right now, mine is faster.
Yeah, for some, I think he has a little bit of ringer, or like maybe just a little bit of factory.
Yeah, so
freak
it's
or something.
A little bit different.
Very slight. On flat ground, we're basically the same, but I think his makes a little bit more torque because uphill he kind of pulls away.
Yeah, which is weird.
Something. Maybe it's a throttle setup or something, but.
All right, so what we're gonna do
is remove the stuff off.
Yeah, first thing we're gonna do is probably remove the carburetor. So go ahead and take this air box off the top, and then it's just these 2 bolts right here.
Which are 10s, it looks like.
Yeah, 10s, and then this outer cover will kind of come off, so we'll come back when that outer cover's off to show you the next step.
Okay, guys, Cameron just pulled off that cover, and you guys can see this is the carb, original carb. So basically, the petcock on this carb, by the way, is attached to it. So when you install the side carb, you won't have a petcock anymore. And you have to remove this entire throttle assembly because you're just basically now using a super simple slide carb. And this is definitely going to help with throttle response. Way more snappy, way more responsive on the throttle. So he's just going to remove the whole throttle assembly, and then the carb should be able to just come off. And we'll cut to basically when the carb's on there. Okay guys, Cameron, I just want to show you that you do have to take the studs out for the original carb, because the original carb is on studs. And the one we're going to be putting in has an intake manifold that that it attaches to by screwing in some Allen bolts. So we're just using the 2-nut method to take these studs off, and they're pretty easy to take off. So you should be able to just take it off with a wrench. You know that's a oh yeah, never mind. It's the second one. Okay guys, we have thrown on the carb, and it took a little bit more process than we thought because we had to take the tank off because the old fuel line was routed kind of under that thing, like we rerouted it like that. And look at this, this looks pretty slick. Matches the frame of the bike as far as red on red, so it's pretty cool. If you want to go ahead and start it up, Cameron. Kill switch is on. Okay guys, so we're back from putting the mods on Cameron's bike last night. You guys saw us put on that carburetor, and we didn't show you what it looked like with the pipe on. So this is what it looks like with the pipe. That's without the muffler tip, and that's with a heat wrap on it, fiberglass heat wrap. So we had the muffler tip on there and it worked fine. It just, Cameron took it off. So yeah, the bike runs great. It is definitely a different power band. That's the biggest thing. We haven't done a top speed test yet, but we're going to do that. We're going to compare the top speeds of the bikes now. And then we're also going to do a side-by-side race to see how they are, like depending on the power band and whatnot. And then we'll probably also do a sound check of how this sounds with the muffler tip on it and then without, and just versus this bike. So yeah, we're just going to start comparing the modded with the VM22 and a header pipe versus the stock Predator 212. Yeah, Cameron's was about $100 total for everything on the mod side. So yeah, let's see what kind of difference it makes. Okay, sound check. No header, like basically open flow header. The header muffler's not over there. Pretty loud. Quite a bit louder than this bike over here. Stock bike basically sounds like a lawnmower, and this one pops a lot. There's a lot of backfires. Okay, guys, we threw on the actual muffler to the header pipe. Go ahead, Cameron. Quite a bit quieter.
Way quieter.
Want to rev it? Pop mostly just doesn't pop as much.
It does backfire when you slow down, but it's fine.
Yeah, if you really throttle out, it'll pop a little bit, but I like the way this one sounds.
When we compare the speed, we're probably gonna have them.
We're probably gonna run no muffler
with
on that.
no muffler because it is a little restrictive, so it kind of messes up the power band.
We'll just see how much true potential this has. So. Next, I think we're gonna run a top speed test of this guy. So the OG top speed for the 212 on his bike actually specifically was 34.5. So we're trying to beat that. So what are your predictions, Cameron?
I'm guessing probably like 40.
It's gonna be kind of scary because the brakes on these stink.
Yeah, they don't really work.
And basically we just have a grass runway that we'll just careen into. So me and him will probably both take a crack at it. But yeah, we're going to do a top speed test, modded 212, up next.
Alright, I definitely think I can go faster. It's just sketchy.
Yeah, the brakes, just the limiting factor.
And also, like...
That was probably about a 100-yard run.
I think if I actually go up the neighborhood, it's longer and I might be able to get a better top speed to show you guys. But just that little run was 35.6.
Okay, so we beat the old top speed of 34.5. And 34.5 we throttled out like right until we hit the grass.
Yeah, it's
so
just really sketchy. I'm not super comfortable doing that.
Yeah, it's just a little too sketchy here, and it's also kind of wet in the grass. If the grass was dry, we probably could go, but with the wet grass, you might like slip out.
So I'm gonna do a little top speed run just on my own up the neighborhood, and I'll come back, and then we'll see what I really can get.
Yeah, it's just longer and safer, and then it will be uphill though. But yeah, maybe you can even like come down and we'll see what we can get.
It levels off at the top, so it's mostly like the length.
So yeah, we'll see what we can do. Okay, y'all. So we just got back from zipping up the hill. We did a flat spot. It's flat.
It was only uphill and flat. There's no downhill. I was going fast enough to where the valves were floating. You can hear a little ticking.
So this is basically maxed out.
Maxed out without new valve springs.
Yeah, let's just see what you got.
41.3 miles per hour.
Wow, pretty impressive. So 40 plus miles an hour on how you're what, $480 into this about?
473-ish.
Yeah, so $475.
$225 for the base bike, and then $108 for the engine, $40 for the clutch, and then the throttle, carb, and pipe were about $100 altogether, like a little under $100. So yeah, it was about $175 or $475 for everything.
Yeah, and
Going 40
this
with
thing
a
is
very responsive throttle.
flying. So next up, we're gonna do a race to just see how much faster and kind of the difference in power bands between these two, because my bike is a little bit peppier down low, but man, once you get up higher speed on the modded one, it just takes off like crazy. So it's also way more responsive. So we're gonna do a side-by-side race next. Okay guys, so we just did a third run there, and the first two runs, or I don't know if we'll show both of them, but Cameron ran out of gas kind of. So that's,
yeah, we weren't sure, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I was just out of gas. And then I took the muffler off for the third one because it's like way too restrictive.
Yeah.
Basically for this one, it doesn't have a lot of down low torque. It just kind of slowly
like,
progresses.
It goes, but
the power band is like way higher RPM than his. So his
is kind of a screamer.
His on this shorter track is a lot better. It's geared a lot better for this because he has like the low end torque to get it going, and they can go a pretty decent speed. Where mine, like
his is like
for
a top
some reason,
machine.
I think it probably needs to be jetted like one size smaller because it's
seems
getting
like it's getting too much fuel.
Too much fuel, so it's like whoa.
So it's not until it's higher RPM that is really burning all of it, and then
yeah,
yeah, this thing launches a little bit better. But certainly, I mean, his is like 7 miles an hour top speed. I mean, we never did test this on like a full runway like this, but I'm sure it wouldn't go much faster than 35 or whatever.
Yeah, so it was 34.5 for my original 212, and then this one is
unmodified.
41.3.
So yeah, so we gained about 7 miles an hour with the $100 in mods, and then as far as power band wise, it's definitely much higher up in the power. But responsiveness, this one's way more responsive.
It's way, yeah, the throttle response is way better, but it's the actual like driving response, it kind of
bogs mid range.
Yeah.
And then what I would say is maybe if I was gonna do like a basic mod to mine, if I just want to do one mod, I'll probably just put a pipe on this because, well, number one, this pipe setup melts the back fender kind of. And I kind of like the way it sounds with a different pipe on it. So I would probably just do that, and you'd probably pick up a little bit more speed, maybe like 36 or something, 37. And then you would have still the really good torque with this different carb, like the stock carb. So yeah, that's the results. Do you think it was worth it for $100?
I would say it's definitely worth it just for like the top speed. And it is still pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean,
you have the pipe.
It does fly when you
I actually have a twist throttle now because my old one just broke. So yeah, I say it's probably worth the $100, but I need to mess with the carb a little bit.
Yeah, so yeah, thank you guys for checking out the video. We had a lot of fun on the mini bikes. We'll probably have maybe another video or two on these
maybe
coming up. Probably riding them around the yard or something and showing what it's really like to go off-road on these, because they're kind of street machines. They have no suspension. So thank you guys for checking out our mini bike videos, and please subscribe.